Welcome back to the LCS. 4-4 Team Liquid taking on 3-5 Shopify Rebellion, who has only beaten first place teams. At a certain point, every team in the league is going to be 4-5. If that's actually possible that we have a 6-way tie for third at the end of today,
and a 2-way tie for first.
It's been so crazy so far today.
Let's see what we end up getting here. I'm interested to see between Team Liquid and Shopify. Shopify Rebellion's composition last game, where they just smashed with what looked like just a straight up standard comp, is hilarious to me.
It's always, I always say that Zyra Khan is, if things aren't working well, just go for super easy execution, go for it. And I mean, they looked like monsters. It didn't look like an easy execution comfort comp, it looked like a domination comp, so.
Yeah, during the pre-show as well, we talked about Shopify Rebellion being the blue shell team. They've only beaten #1 seeds, so technically they'd be the underdogs here because Team Liquid is actually not in first place. But it's been a really wild team to watch, and they're still drawing Sion Peg.
Oh, we got Turtle in there!
He's controlling the blue shell.
Oh my God, he's in there!
That was a fun interview at the end of yesterday when Turtle talked to Fake God. You can tell they still have a nice team culture with Turtle there on stage once again.
And absolutely, Shopify Rebellion, Revans even said, you know, these are kind of his boys. He's worked with all the players before in other capacities, and a lot of the drafts, obviously, we give a lot of credit to Insanity for having a wide pool, but you also have, like, historically on the C9C camp, you had a lot of the kind of double tanky boys with the Gragas and the Swain and stuff like that, so I think it's just very playing towards Revan's style as well.
A first pick Rumble I have not seen in some time. I know last split it was a dominant pick, really tough to really deal with. But with Udyr ban, which was honestly the best pick into Rumble, that you can kind of sustain past it, I guess makes it easier for Impact to go for the pick.
I mean, I think Impact's Rumble's pretty good, but I'm a little bit surprised that that's the first pick here. But I think it will give TL like new flavor, because we've definitely seen the heavy push from them out of top lane, and that's done a lot for them. So Rumble can kind of fill the same niche.
This is the week where Insanity has taken off the training weights, apparently. No more Sion and Garen. He's just throwing down the Orianna, the easy. I mean, it's tricky to blind pick Orianna, because we saw him even last game. The Tristana was just hard locked against it from Dove, and it worked. And APA has played a lot of Tristana, so it's a bit of a gauntlet you throw down when you blind pick Orianna like that.
And they slammed Zyra Khan last game. Feel like you could probably just end up doing it this game as well, recognizing that you're going up against a Rumble. If you have a pretty easy way to engage upon that, that'd be a pretty slick way to do so. Yeah, I think Vi makes a lot of sense here. So, love to see what the pick is going to be to support it.
Kelsey, what do you want to see TL do here?
What I want to see TL do is kind of just go for a lot of the pushing styles. So they banned the Kalista, but you can still get a lot of lane power with even picks like Ashe still up. The Jarvan's very interesting. I guess we're just going for the Rumble Jarvan box into the Orianna. The immobile Orianna being a little bold with Rumble picked and Jarvan there, so.
I think it's a little too early.
Oh!
Okay.
The classic!
It got buffed and then nerfed, but still stronger.
True!
I mean, everyone knows APA for Ziggs, but Aesol is the OG always plan ahead pick. So I'm very excited to see what he's going to do here. He made it to top rank 1 on the NA ladder a couple years back, just spamming Aesol, so.
It's fun. Like, the conversation around Team Liquid has just been going with comfort picks that's worked well for APA, and feels like after the buffs that came through for Aurelion Sol, he is finally, willing to pick it out. But it's been great. Now we're seeing a strong jungler that is working alongside it, because that is the real focus, is that you're going to get pushed in. It's going to be a lot of pressure early on. At least now with Xin Zhao, you can try to combat it, maybe get a gank off on Orianna and make her feel unsafe.
Yeah, it is a lot of magic damage, but I want to pull up the champion pools of APA and Insanity, because it feels like, at least in this game, they have switched roles a little bit. Insanity was the one who was playing all the off-meta stuff, but now you have the same thing on the side of APA with Ziggs picks earlier on in the year, and now the Aesol, 2 champions that only he has played in the LCS. So much diversity playing on the live patch this year.
Yeah, I mean, just hearing from the members of Shopify, they're just saying we need to get Insanity off of Sion just to pick anything else that's not just a straight tank mid. And yeah, the fact that there's that one shared Orianna, that wasn't even true at the beginning of this week.
Absolutely, and Insanity's a funny one because you always think he's the guy who's going to play all the crazy stuff, but he is actually just a good fundamental player. So he can, of course, whip out the Orianna when necessary, but we'll see how he does against the pressure from the Xin Zhao, the Rumble, and then later on the Azel.
And a lot of bot lane bans, so we could still see some unique stuff here. Yesterday, Team Liquid played Taric, Kalista. It worked okay. They actually almost Taric diffed the game at certain points, but then couldn't close it down the stretch. But look at this. Ashe, Tahm Kench, Kalista, Zeri, Varus, all banned already from the bot lane.
If Shopify wants to, they can go back to the Lucian Melio. It's something that worked well for them in both iterations of Bvoy and Wild Turtle. They've been comfortable playing around that style, and even though it's dropped off in the league, especially with how long the game has really gotten, it's something that they can go back to comfort with. How many bans have come through here? We haven't talked about Senna, so like the hover is interesting.
Yeah, and this is a situation where frequently in the new season we're seeing so many 80 bans in the first phase, so dropping 80 to second phase can be really risky. That coveted fourth pick slot does come out as the Xayah, but we already saw the Senna coming, like kind of hovered. So
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that we're going for the Xayah when the Senna is up.
Yeah, so you favor the Senna side if Yon ends up blocking the Sin. But
Yeah.
there's also Tahm Kench is blocked as a pair, so they'd have to get a little bit more creative with it.
Absolutely, I think you can. You might even see like a Senna Rumble, like unironically. I don't know if Core is going to throw down, but we have seen some of that in other regions like LCK, LPL, so
True.
that's definitely still on the table.
They're taking their time with this one.
A
What
lot of
can
days can
Spawn
go.
and Rain over Cook here? And also, you can do so many things with this. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, does Shopify have enough engaged to just go send a Seraphine? Because that's the other combo.
Yeah.
The dirty combo we thought we got rid of in week one.
It's a lot of magic damage, but there's not necessarily that many great magic resist buyers on Shopify.
Rakan is like the classic Core pick, but I don't know. We'll see what it does.
They're just tricking up with every hover. I mean, they all make sense.
I would have liked the Seraphine. The Nautilus, though, is more Core JJ.
Yeah. I also think it makes sense. Obviously, TL have been playing way more to avoid fights, but they need some kind of engage or some kind of get it out of jail free card.
Yeah, and it looks like Shopify is going to be locking in the Rakan. One thing to watch out for in this game, though, is Team Liquid's macro game, and if the laning phase even matters that much. So let's pull up their game against Cloud9, because I thought they did some lane swaps that were under-noticed, but incredibly effective in their game against Cloud9. So this is just a really sped-up version from 5 minutes onwards, where look at the Udyr in the top lane already in this clip, taking a early recall up here and going down bottom, and they really just make Cloud9 dizzy. They send the Aphelios top lane. You can see they're a little bit late on the return, so they get a free wave. Then they swap back early. Melio Lucian have to follow down the bot lane once again. And they kind of end up playing this game in ping pong multiple different times. It gives them free grubs that happen right here. And then Cloud9 actually gets faked. They fake themselves out because they try and run top lane, and it allows Team Liquid to get even more plates bottom, eventually leading to first turret. No combat happened in that sequence, but they got about 8 plates by the end of it. So just watch out for lane swaps from Team Liquid, because they've had success with it last week against Shopify Rebellion today. That's it from the draft, though. Let's end to casters.
Muchas gracias, y'all, and welcome back. We got a caster swapperoo. It's your boy Rafa and Kobe, and we have a special guest, the Random Fandom Check-In. We got Emily Rand on the cast with us for a try.
Woo! Thank you for having me.
And special guest, Aurelion Sol.
True.
I know.
This is a controversial topic because in the patch, there were really, really magnificent bugs for Aurelion Sol that had to get hot fixed on day one because they were overboard with the damage amp specifically on the Astral Flight. And then when they hot fixed it, they actually lowered the damage amp to below pre-buff. But Aurelion Sol got to keep the meaningful parts of the buffs, which I agree with the idea, which was making Aurelion Sol more active. So they lowered a bunch of the mana costs, which was really, really impactful, especially on the Q, and the cooldown on your Astral Flight, trying to make Aurelion Sol more active in the way that you gain the stacks. And he did also still retain that you get 3 Stardust off of channeling on champions rather than just the one. So I'm very curious to watch APA on this champion. He's a longtime Aurelion Sol player, as the analyst mentioned. The key part is that APA played most of his Aurelion Sol pre-rework, which was a very, very different champion and didn't have all the Stardust stuff going on. So we'll see him try his hand at the new and improved Aurelion Sol on Summoner's Rift. Everybody was distracted by the Ziggs buffs, and they're like, oh, great,
Yeah.
APA's going to spam the Ziggs, but Asol here.
But I'm actually looking at the junglers because in this game, we actually have the 2 junglers in the LCS that have the highest forward percentage. So me and Kobe are here with stopwatches, and we're going to be competing against each other to see, does this count? I think this counts for me.
Oh, a flash away from APA as Zeyzal's grand entrance forces his hand.
Yeah, so the key here is me and Emily with our stopwatches will be timing the amount of time that the jungler for either team spends across the halfway point. Emily, you take Umpty.
Yep.
He's your favorite jungler. I will take Boogie. I'm pretty happy with taking Boogie's side after his Wukong performance yesterday.
Wait.
So we'll see. I think you should have like a second probably on yours
Yeah,
right
you
now.
want to throw one
That
on
counts.
there.
It was
Yeah, there we
across
go.
the halfway point.
All
Oh
right.
my goodness. Every second counts here, guys.
Yeah, exactly. I think the other big thing, though, is now APA's flash is blown, right? So we'll see if Boogie wants to immediately target that with the Vi.
And the key point is, the reason we're doing this and tracking these 2 junglers is because these are the 2 junglers that are the highest forward percentages. They are some of the biggest counter junglers that we have in the LCS. They always like to get as aggressive as possible with it, and we'll see which lanes they play around. Obviously, you want to go off of your pushing lanes. APA starting out pushing here on Aurelion Sol, making use of those mana buffs.
Yeah, and I mean, in tracking and looking at the jungle pathing, specifically for Umpty, the prep for this game, in his past 2 games, he's gotten onto the opposing side of the map no later than like 4 minutes into the game, like 4:09. So he's been up in his opponent's jungle a lot as we see him clearing out the bot side of the map.
And technically this game, you got in there at like level 1, so I guess,
Yeah, I have 56.
I guess that counts too.
56. I have almost a full second on my stopwatch already.
So, I think this is a really fun and cool idea, and I think I want to open it up to everyone else. So, if you're in chat, we're going to open up a poll to who you think between Umpty or Boogie is going to have more forward percentage by the end of 14 minutes.
As we see, Umpty is going to go over this wall, and I think challenge Boogie. Oh, here
Flash
we
is
go.
over, but Boogie was already channeling the Vault Breaker, and he gets out clean. He already took the red buff. At least Umpty is going to try and use the priority from Impact to bully Boogie away from these Krugs.
This is why we're tracking
Let's
it.
go.
Straight up flashes in there.
Yeah, and you see him using that pushing pressure from the Rumble that they were talking about in draft, syncing up with that. Now he's going to be able to clear out the chickens as well. So this is a really good start for me.
Oh yeah, well, might actually end up costing him.
Oh no, Boogie collapses on Umpty. They know he has no flash to get out, and first blood will go over to Insanity.
So, Team Boogie over here, I have 0 seconds on my clock, but I've got 1-0 on the scoreboard. Scoreboard, Emily!
It's true. I'm winning this game, but losing
At what
in
cost?
the actual game. Yeah, it's a Pyrrhic victory.
Honestly, though, always playing off of the pressure of your top laner. I blame Udyr for this phenomenon, where now a lot of the LCS teams have gotten more aggressive with it, and Impact was one of the biggest Udyr players as he just barely gets out of the chain, while Boogie was kind of around the area. Starting
this
my
is-
clock
this is
here
you,
on the
Kobe.
invade.
Yeah, he gets a ward in. Fake God getting ignited by Impact. Might doesn't have flash from before. Impact, the last harpoon, the comet. Oh, it's not enough. Fake God lives with a slither of HP.
Oof,
I really
so
wanted to
close.
shout Kobe there, but he did not get the kill. Almost at the long range.
Would have been good.
I think in that invade, though, you do see the difference between, obviously, when Umpty was able to go into the opposing jungler, he had that pushing wave. Here, Boogie did not have the same coming out of Fake God, and Impact is able to actually punish on the Rumble on the top side.
Teleport forced by Insanity as he's going to use it to get this back in. Starting off lane, thanks to that first blood kill, not only has a tier to his name, but also that Codex. APA so far not punished with the lack of flash yet, but Boogie still has his flash available. I wonder if around that level 6 timer, Boogie's going to try to look in and really nail APA.
Yeah, it looks like now hovering around the dragon here with the respawn. They get Scuttle Crab. They've got Zeyzal moving. Mid lane target.
Oh, Zeyzal was spotted, though, by Umpty. That might just give APA the heads up that he needs to stay safe and just hover on the left side of the lane. But Boogie, it's not going to be. The lane is too big now this season, guys.
Yeah, a little bit of vision goes a long way there. APA just hovering to the top side after they caught sight of Zeyzal.
Umti is getting really aggressive into the face, but Boogie is just right there to aid him. Umti, I don't know if he's got backup here. CoreJJ hooks him in with the dredge line. Isn't enough. Yon's going to keep him safe as now. APA floats on in. Boogie forced to flash. The Ignite ticking down. That's the kill over to CoreJJ. Insanity falls as well. Team Liquid end up big as the falling star does not clip Zeyzal and he gets out.
Yeah, I was wondering if he went in a little too early there because you saw them rotating up from bot side. Wasn't sure if they were going to get in there in time. Another thing I do want to point out about this TL team overall, Umti has also the highest first Drake percentage of any jungler in the league at 75%.
And look at this. This is pure Chad energy. He walks over the ward into enemy jungle, lands the W, and then you see the collapse from both lanes here. Aurelion Sol coming down to shortly follow Insanity. The critical part, though, is Core, JJ, and Yon. The bottom lane comes up. They hit Umti with the heal. They're able to focus down Boogie. He dies to Core JJ's Ignite. If you're a jungler looking to have a very high forward percentage, get you a support like Core JJ who's going to be there to back you up. That bottom lane made all the difference.
And this early aggression is very reminiscent of what we came to know Team Liquid as of last summer's split, when Pyosik was on that roster, and then a lot of the questions around this roster going into the spring split after the first round robin is like, well, seems like if they don't play to scale, they're not winning games, because every time they went for early game compositions, it fell flat. So far, it's a good start.
Yeah, and here we also see Umti on the grubs. Going back to just tracking general things, I think Umti also has the highest, or TL has the highest percentage of grubs taken in the LCS as well at 60.
All right, well, Boogie right now currently counter jungling while you take those grubs. Red buff down, really clocking up the numbers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you're catching up to me now.
A lot of times, junglers have begun to use the grubs as bait. I really like this strategy because not only can you counter jungle, but you can dive bottom lane as well, which is really one of the main points for Shopify Rebellion.
That was a really good CC combo. Yon's root there connected with Core JJ's dredge line and made him take 1 or 2 turret shots there, but Boogie looking for the dive is just going to pressure them up and make sure that they cannot threaten Zeyzal and B-Boy as they try to crash this wave in.
Yeah, it looks like Zeyzal stepped in a little too far forward.
What was that?
That was
Yon is also confused as to what happened there.
I guess he was trying to look for the Blade Caller route, but he didn't have enough feathers, or maybe it expired. I would have to take a look back at that, but that's really unfortunate because now B-Boy doesn't have a flash.
Yeah, and now Umti is on this top side of the jungle once again, taking advantage of the fact that that Impact is already at the point where he's proxy farming. And then meanwhile, APA is in a really solid position in this mid lane now. They didn't do much to punish that really early flash blown super early on in the game. And then since then, I think Umti's done a really good job of playing around TL's lanes.
Yeah, I mean, sorry for B-Boy, but he used his Blade Caller there. That was a flash Blade Caller and he just missed. We'll get a replay of it.
There we go again.
Okay, so they lay down the feathers, keep track of where the feathers are because they're getting a big chunk here onto Rakan.
Eyes are all on
that's not the part that they were looking for.
Yeah.
It's a little early,
here.
But it comes up after Boogie disengages here.
Yeah. Still feathers on the ground. And then you'll see him pull him back too. Even with the spectator client, you'll still see this.
Yep.
There he goes.
Oh.
Just misses.
Oof. Yeah, and that, like, even before that had happened, you could tell that they were kind of setting up for the dive, exactly like you said, Kobe. Boogie was rotating down. It was looking like they had a really good setup, and they just timed it a little too early, in my opinion.
A quick check-in, though, at 9 minutes. We still have 5 more to go before we finish our clocks on the forward percentage.
Yeah, where are you at, Kobe? I'm at 53.81 seconds.
I'm at a minute and a minute and 27.
Okay, engage into the jungle. Core JJ lining them all up with a depth charge. Multiple knockups here. Boogie might just fall here to Umti. He gets the Gromp, but he loses his life for it as B-Boy and Zeyzal now might be in trouble. There's a lot of members here from Team Liquid. The wave is not quite shoved in, so looks like no threat here.
Yep, and that's some more minutes on the clock for me. One thing I think that has been going on, again, Umti recognizing when he can go in off of general wave push as Core JJ goes in.
Dredgeline connects. Zeyzal goes back in, but loses a lot of HP on the trade off of it. Yon and Core JJ prepping this wave, but Umti is already pathing towards the top side of the map, so it should just give them the opportunity to maybe look for a reset here, but another Dredgeline connects. A lot of damage from both Yon and Core JJ. That's the Featherstorm being forced by this Team Liquid bot lane. And now they're doing a solid job so far.
Yeah, I mean, that's critical timing here when Dragon is going to come up pretty soon. Dragon will come up before that ulti does come up from B-Boy. CoreJJ definitely one of the best at timing that, going for minion kills and then hooking right after the minion dies. Gets the pretty big cooldown out there. And because he used his flash to attempt that Blade Caller earlier too, it means that is going to be a very vulnerable Xayah.
Yeah, and we'll see what TL are looking to do on this top side. We do have Grubs spawning soon. Once again, taking advantage of their vision and pushing waves to steal that chicken camp once again. But it looks like he's just going to go path back towards bot. Impact still has push in mid, and APA is pushing, in top, and APA is pushing out this wave in mid.
Yep, Dragon just spawned here. Boogie is hovering APA and Insanity right now. He's very low, but he has Falling Star just to push Insanity back. He has teleport so he can recall, look for the TP in case Team Liquid need it to secure this Dragon. But because of the bot lane pressure that Yeon and CoreJJ have been relentlessly being able to create against Zeyzal and B-Boy, this second Dragon is free for Team Liquid.
Yeah, and Team Liquid's objective focus in this game has been quite good. We heard Jat speaking about their lane assignments in that C9 game. TL have, despite their kind of 500 record, have had really good runs of focused macro play, as we've kind of attributed to Coach Spawn, who's a very macro-focused coach. But you see it here in this game as well, off of obviously APA's Aurelion Sol and Impact's Rumble.
I have a lot of credit to APA as well because now.
Oh, Q flash! Caster curse from Kobe! APA, I'm sorry, brother, but that's the trade of the deal and no way to escape.
Blame Kobe for that one.
A lot of credit to him, but
More fighting, World Ender, Equalizer, Impact flashing away at the last critical second. Umti dashes in and secures the kill for Team Liquid.
All right, solo laner for a solo laner there. They get the kill. Meanwhile, Shopify trying to deny Grubs to Team Liquid. TL did get the first 3, so Boogie only gets 1. 5 is still really good, being able to spawn those Void Mites, so Umti's going to turn around and go for it.
Yeah.
Aurelion Sol heads right back out. That's Liandry's completed for APA.
It's a little tricky. Fake God has TP as well, can join the fight. He would have the TP to a turret, but... Oh, actually, yeah, Unleash teleport at 10 minutes, my bad. As Fake God ensures that these Grubs should go over to Shopify Rebellion. Team Liquid, 3 on the bottom side of this river. APA is following up as fast as he can, but it looks like these Grubs should go securely over to Shopify.
Yeah, that was a really good timing window for Shopify to find, right? As soon as they get the Aurelion Sol, they're like, okay, we can rotate up, deny the Grub stacking from TL. Obviously now TL are fighting back with a little bit of a push in mid lane here, and we'll see if they want to engage.
Little decent fighting there. I thought it was about to break out, but
You're ready. You're ready. You're like hunched over, like kind of like us with the stopwatches the way we were initially.
As they bounce on this tower, I mean, the extra little bit of 2 damage is gonna help, even though they didn't get any more than the first 3 there for Team Liquid. An even split on the Grubs. They still get a turret plate here. And the thing I was going to compliment APA for was still his Stardust stacking on the new Aurelion Sol. Had been pretty good at that. He's at 115 now already as they go for the invade.
Zeyzal does have Splash, already uses it, and Battle Dances away to safety. That's a Summoner spell gone. And ladies and gentlemen, we are at 14 minutes. Final clock reads. What do we got?
Okay, I'm still at my 127. I'm gonna come clean though. Because I was so distracted from the stopwatch thing, I kept it going during the replay when we weren't 100% sure where Boogie was, if he was still in enemy jungle.
I ended up with 1 minute and 31 seconds.
Okay, so you still are ahead. Either way.
I won. We're at 14 minutes.
And
Umti
chat.
is the counter jungle king.
I believe chat predicted Umti as well. It was a landslide,
job,
so
chat.
congrats to chat and Emily. As now our counter jungling little race was fun.
Even with my slight stat padding of replay timer.
You tried, Kobe. But no, I think if there's one thing that Umti has been really good at, it's again like TL's objective focus. Just generally, they do have these really good runs of play, and a lot of it starts around when Umti realizes he can invade, get some camps for himself, and then also keep track of timers like the Grubs and the Drake early.
Now it's going to be really fun to track as they play out the Aurelion Sol later on. How roam heavy APA does get, because that was his favorite style of play when He played so much Aurelion Sol pre-rework, and now they've got him in the side lane. He's still stacking up his dust down there while the rest of the team is taking another one of these neutral objectives here for Team Liquid.
Yeah, I was gonna say they kind of another one of those lane assignments, right? Where they rotate up to be able to take this. Aurelion Sol was down on the bot side of the map. They have really good vision coverage across the board, so they can see where Shopify are going. And Shopify kind of reset, which allows TL to come in and take this Herald for themselves.
Yeah, really going to help out with a roam heavy playstyle. You know, the Herald ensuring that they can finish up another one of the outer towers. Looks like Impact will take top side, so you definitely will be able to get mid at some point there for Team Liquid. Topside also just barely standing, so they will be able to blow up the map pretty quickly towards the mid game here. And just to give some stats for the ASOL hype that we're giving for APA, including Amateur and including all these pre-work ASOL games, he had 38, his 4th most played of his entire career as Impact is about to get dove.
3 people on top side here. Zeyzal starts off with the quickness into the grand entrance, and it's just the CC train and the damage unleashed from FakeGod as Zeyzal does go down. Impact was able to find the last ticking blow from Ignite and Equalizer. It's a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good of Impact to take that, and meanwhile, in the mid lane, TL are actually able to take advantage. Not only did Impact get the 1-for-1 in the top side, but they're crashing onto this tier 2 turret, and with the mites, no, they're not going to be able to take it down yet.
It was close, but they definitely got 1 full turret and some change on the second one, so it's going to make that next push even easier as the 3rd dragon of the game has already spawned. Team Liquid are stronger in this bottom side of the jungle. They have greater positioning, and they should be able to take it for free.
Yeah, especially since, you know, they've got mid lane and bottom lane pushing. You can just rotate ASOL over. And ASOL, with the AoE control you have with a charged up ultimate, with your singularity, you can cut off these entrances coming up to Dragon. So Shopify make a smart call. They don't want to contest number 3, and they'll wait for the actual Dragon Soul fight. They're just going to keep on trying to split push, keep on trying to counter jungle, you know, gets Boogie there in the blue side jungle, taking away the little bits of jungle camps that he still can. Meanwhile, TL will be happy to keep up their timer here on the Dragons. They've got the nice gold lead, they've got the stacking ASOL.
Yeah, I mean, off of that run of play, right, you had ASOL and bot getting bot tier 1. They were able to rotate down, have full control of Dragon after crashing the Herald mid, right? So it was perfectly set up on this bot side, and it was all off of kind of Shopify overloading that top side, which isn't even a bad idea, right? It's just Impact also got the 1-for-1 trade kill, and TL, because they have such good map control, are able to get so much in the mid and bot side of the map.
Just under 20 minutes into the game, Baron hasn't spawned quite yet, but Team Liquid very strong on the map. 3,000 gold ahead as Umti is going to go in, get some poke down on Azazel, just force him back as they start to establish vision control way ahead of time before this Baron spawns.
And then TL could get really aggressive with it. Umti, once again, leading the charge in. He's got plenty of backup. They have a Senna coming over as well. Him plus Core JJ rotating over to the split push train. APA has pushed it all the way up to the tower. It's only going to take him couple of autos to knock this thing over. Meanwhile, the split push for Shopify as FakeGod tries to answer on the bottom side, should be able to get that turret. And while he does have a teleport, him teleporting into these fights right now would be really dangerous because Shopify, it's very difficult for them to actually come from multiple angles, and they didn't have any super deep wards to teleport on either, so he actually doesn't even finish that turret, and he's going to get chased down.
This could be trouble for FakeGod. No turret to protect him. The rest of Shopify are trying to rally around and provide him a route of escape. Boogie thinking that maybe they can force this fight, but they're not in range quite yet. They still have a turret to defend themselves here. Jan throwing out the Pepega Frog once again, as he is just making sure that his laners stay safe.
Yeah, and meanwhile, TL finally do get that tier 1 turret on top side. That was kind of a good look at a collapse from Shopify, but it also just shows, again, with the vision control that TL have and kind of their coordination in this game thus far, Jan's able to rotate down, Impact is easily able to clear and go back to turret, so Shopify aren't able to get anything off of it.
I just want to point out here that Team Liquid, it's been a very light game in terms of just a lot of action. We had a lot of it during the first 14 minutes, but now it's been very calm, it's very collected and very calculated for them. You've already pointed out that it's been the macro that has allowed them to be successful so far, but even with the deficits that APA was experiencing with the focus, he's still up in gold against Insanity. This gold advantage is carrying them through forward, and Shopify, I feel like they're just falling behind and they can't really find a way back in this game. They're always being the reactive rather than the proactive. And then the one big thing that Team Liquid really did this game that all the other teams that they upset did poorly was attack the bot lane. Every time B-Boy and Zeyzal were focused down, they fumbled to dive, they fumbled to play. Yeon and CoreJJ tested the limits, never got the kills, but they always pushed them out of lane.
Now it's going to be really hard for them to regain territory. APA roams up to the top side, finishes up that wave super quickly. They have big advantages in pushing out these waves. Rumble on bottom side as well. Honestly, I think Shopify have to just try and go for one of these picks. Make use of Boogie's ultimate, and maybe Zeyzal can find something too there to pick somebody off, because TL have a really actually sturdy 5-on-5 as well. Front line, they've got CoreJJ and the giant ASOL ultimate that AP has been holding this whole time. Just very ominous.
Yeah.
And he's going to keep hold of that one until the Dragon Soul fight comes up. It's going to be up to Shopify to try and work something around that, or maybe get some cooldowns before that Dragon comes up.
Yeah, it looks like now TL are actually the ones setting up, not necessarily for a pick, but just to chew through this tier 2 turret in mid.
Look where Boogie is. He is waiting for them to overextend and wants to come in from a flank position because he knows that at this point in the game, fighting a 5-on-5 front to back would be super hard losing for Shopify. It has to be about the creative angles at which you can cause disruption in this team. But Team Liquid don't bite off more than they can chew. They back off immediately.
And it's so dangerous. If Shopify actually try and contest Dragon Soul from bottom lane, it's really small now, the way that they squished up the jungle. So you pretty much have to do mid-prio if you're going to contest one of those objectives. Shopify don't want to give them the chance to set up first, though. And they force the issue on Baron. They will make Team Liquid charge at them.
Dawning Shadow comes through, gets a decent chunk out of Shopify Rebellion as well. dashes in. FakeGod forced to peel back. The Equalizer comes through. FakeGod taking a lot of damage. Here comes Boogie over the top, trying to prevent Yeon from doing damage. APA's backing him up. Boogie, one last-ditch effort, but he still goes down. Meanwhile, Team Liquid cleaned up the rest of the fight on the back half. A 4-4 impact, and this Baron belongs to Team Liquid.
APA dropped an absolute nuke there with the ASOL ultimate. That's Baron. No deaths for TL. Well, Emily.
Yeah, thanks for the leash, Thanks for the leash, Shopify. I mean, again, we've talked about how this was set up by the early game that TL had, right? Like playing around their lanes, playing around their vision, focusing neutral objectives. I don't even necessarily hate this call from Shopify, right? Like they're doing it on a reset. They think they can burn it down. But as we already touched upon, they really do not want to go up against this TL team in a 5v5. And we just saw exactly why as we go into the replay.
Okay, so the Dawning Shadows early. They're looking at how close the timing is on Baron. And it's at 4.5K, so you can't continue to burn it. It's perfect timing for them to go for this counter.
Yep, and as we saw, here we go.
We get to see it from orbit. The star dropping.
Pure cinema, baby.
Yeah, I love the effects on the actual impact. And speaking of impact, great segue. That Rumble ult also did a lot to soften them up as well. And obviously, having a Rumble ult when you're taking on Baron Pit is always a great thing to have.
APA dropping the Singularity, just making it slower for Shopify Rebellion to rotate over to this inhibitor tower. They've already made short work of it, taking more than half of its HP. Meanwhile, Impact is pushing in the mid lane. Shopify Rebellion down almost 8,000 gold, running out of options as Team Liquid siege into their base.
All right. ASOL, people have had a frustrating time sieging against the ASOL, but it's also frustrating trying to defend against it. Especially with the extra Senna here on the bottom side. Extra range there. Yeon able to get inside. The Baroned up minions on the inhibitor. wants to scrap.
They're engaging and they want to force the fight to end this game. They already find 1-2 easily. Back to back. That's the double for Yeon. The Equalizer comes through. Featherstorm to dodge on the damage. The Blade Caller roots APA in his tracks, but he pops the stasis to keep himself alive. TL have done enough to be able to walk away with this inhibitor on their side, and they're going to look for more.
And they're going to get
They
more.
should be able to close out, right?
Yeah,
Unless
two
yeah,
inhibitors here. Baroned up minions coming down.
this should be it.
A singularity dropped once again. APA just keeping them at a bay. Team Liquid now pushing in with super minions coming through 2 lanes very soon as they just have to hold the line. Fake God is respawning in the next 3 seconds. It may have been too long for Team Liquid to close this game out. It looks like they'll take the reset here, but a teleport is coming in. Last-ditch effort from Shopify. If they can find someone to get back in this game, it has to be now. He finds APA, forced to flash, but the root from Yon keeps Fake God at a distance. They blast, go back in. Umpty says, go, baby! We win these every single time! Yon finds the first one on a Fake God. Zazul will fall next. It's another double. Buki can't decide whether he wants to go in or back out. Interrupts, cease and desist over the wall. Stops APA, but before he falls, he still goes down. Triple for Yon, looking for one more. The shockwave will stop them for now, but Insanity cannot stop Team Liquid from closing out this game.
As someone who watched a lot of Umpty in his LCK career, right? It's just great to see him go in, engage on something like the Xin Zhao. He loves champs like this to just kind of go in and lead his team.
The fearless Admiral once again from Korea comes in with Team Liquid and leads them to another victory.
The classic Blast Cone Xin Zhao insect play. Beautiful stuff. Blast Cone's into the middle of the team, splits them all up with the Xin Zhao ultimate. And that's, I guess we'll end the game then. They were going to reset, but decided, you know what, we're going to fight it out. Shopify went for their teleport. TL, though, from beginning to end, controlled this game. The only real hiccup was actually the first blood, where after Umpty burning his flash, kept on with the counter jungling and then went down as the first blood. But since that point, they bounced right back, controlled those neutral objectives, controlled the team fights. Azul stacking up, pushing out the side wave. Very coordinated and strong play here from Team Liquid.
And with that, concludes our match for Team Liquid and Shopify Rebellion. We're going to be headed to a break before FlyQuest versus Immortals. While we wait, let's hear from Busio after winning his first MasterCard Player of the Week.
Welcome, Busio, and congratulations on your Week 3 MasterCard Player of the Week, first of all. So, welcome.
Thank you.
So, of course, one-time Most Valuable Prospect, second year in the LCS, and interestingly enough, 4th support to win Player of the Week. Not a lot of sports get that. Woo! So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Just to refresh your memory on this one, you get 90 seconds. Rapid fire questions. You can pass if you want to. Before we even get to those questions, I'm going to ask you a question that I want a real answer to.
Okay.
Are you picking Pyke this week?
It's in the drafts.
Okay.
Could happen.
That's all I need to know. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. First question. The best advice a coach or a teammate has given you?
Nuke Duck, just win lol.
Okay, second. The hardest thing about the decision to move from mid to support?
Playing support, just, support's generally not the best.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of mechanics and stuff, so need to, restructure, but yeah.
Okay. Favorite teammate you've played with not on FlyQuest? So now you got to start picking.
Oh, it's hard, but I guess double lift.
There it is. Where does the name Busio come from, and why did you take the C out that you originally had?
Okay, well, the C was from my last name, Swalina, and it was just a nickname given by, my sister, I guess, when I was super young, or just, my family. It doesn't mean anything. It's just, a random nickname, yeah.
Okay, so you just held on to it. Favorite memory on your journey to the LCS? That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. Probably, my first split of amateur, just, winning some important series, and Challengers Uprising was the league.
Okay, champion, you get flamed for locking in the most in solo queue.
Flamed for? Flamed for.
15 seconds.
Uh-oh.
You can pass if you want.
Pass, I guess.
Why was Katarina your first main?
She was so broken. I mean, she's still so broken. Solo queue LP for free.
Okay. Stranded on an island, which one of your teammates were you to be stuck with? Just flatly, just say a name.
Inspired.
Okay, boom, finished it. Katarina as your first main. So you started as a streamer, you got Challenger when you were 15 years old. How'd you get into League? Why'd you, how'd you start streaming?
Well, how I got into League, I was maybe 7. It was season 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And I'd play games with my dad, and then he installed League, so he also installed it for me, so I was playing. yeah, that's how I got into League. And then streaming, I guess, I don't actually know. Maybe I just wanted some money. I was playing Katarina and I needed some money, you know?
There we go. So congratulations, first of all. Hold that up. All right, congratulations on your first Player of the Week, and I'm sure there's more to come.
Dude, why'd you put your new rig in the basement?
Didn't you hear? Bill's a gagillionaire now.
Basically, my new connection is so strong I can game anywhere. Check it out. We've got Gamer Rocker, Gamer Floaty, Gamer Couch.
Whoa.
It's got wheels.
Gamer Bench, Gamer Throne, and Gamer Mower.
What's that?
It's hard to game while walking downstairs.
I get it.
That's smart.
Live like a gagillionaire with low latency everywhere. AT&T Fiber with All-Fi.
Look what I've just made. The perfect pearl.
Not too bad, but check this out.
Whoa, a true Venus clam.
Red Bull gives you wings.
The new Red Bull Sea Blue Edition with the taste of Juneberry. Wings for every taste.
Hello, I'm here with victorious Team Liquid jungler Umti for his first ever LCS stage interview.
Hi guys, thank you for coming.
감사합니다. Okay, so talking off camera, kind of, you were saying how in your last game you felt like you were playing a little bit scared. This game, you just kind of wanted to go crazy. So take me through how you felt like your performance was this game.
Actually, I have to explain the first thing that I was played yesterday. It's the Sejuani thing. I really disappointed to me that I played like a coward, you know, guys, and my fans will not like it, right? So today I decided to be like very crazy, and I just flash in 3 level, and I just fight 2v1 at the 4 level. I really like that.
Yeah, the crowd loves it too. We were tracking your counter jungling, and you won the competition between you and Boogie, so congratulations. In terms of Team Liquid's early game, how has communication with your lanes been thus far?
Actually, the funny thing was like we know that Rakan was there, and APA was like, "Oh, it's okay. I have a snowboard thing, so I can just check that." And he just checked, and his flash is gone. Yeah, I don't know. That was his plan, but actually that was success because we got a blue ward. Yeah, that was success. So that was my plan to be. And the next thing that Rumble has a prior to go into enemy red, so it was very easy to go red. But I knew that the Insanity warded to Raptor side, so I saw that and I decided, okay, it's okay. I can use flash and just jump over the wall. And I watched the Boogie was going to the Krog, and yeah, that's mine. The Raptor is mine, and he was very smart, you know. He just hid it like this. He didn't scare my Rumble, so I just respect him. Oh, you're very smart. I'm gonna die. Okay, thank you. And I still said I'm gonna be crazy, guys. I'm gonna be very brave man. I'm very strong, so I just decided to play that 2v1, and we won.
Yeah, it worked out for you. You have a ton of fans here. Some fans from Korea. Is there anything you'd want to say to them?
Oh, sorry. Can you say it again? I'm Korean.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to say to your fans?
To fans?
Yeah.
Actually, today, I don't think that you guys know. Here's my Korean fans come here to LA. So thanks to my fans that coming to LA for like 70-hour flights or 12-hour flights. And thank you for coming to cheering our Team Liquid Honda to here. Thank you, guys.
감사합니다.
Thank
Take
you.
it to the lounge.